Welcome back to another edition of the Saturday to Sunday Football Podcast. I am Paul Perdichizzi, and thank you for joining me as always. Night one of the 2026 NFL Draft is in the books. Here at Saturday Sunday, we are going to recap every single pick from tonight, what I liked, what I didn't like, best available for day two, give my thoughts on every single pick from round one of the 2026 NFL Draft. If you miss my thoughts, I was live with Matt Wallman and Sigmund Bloom for the first 90 minutes of the 2026 NFL Draft. I was with them for almost half the round. I think I was with them through pick 14 or pick 15, sharing my thoughts live on what the Giants did and all the other picks in the first 14 or so picks. Been live tweeting my thoughts the entire night on every single pick. Now recapping it here at Saturday to Sunday, and then tomorrow we'll do it again. Live tweeting throughout the day. Available all day tomorrow to talk on Twitter. Join the new Saturday to Sunday football free Discord channel. I'll be in there all day tomorrow. We could talk dynasty value. We could talk NFL value. We could talk the NFL draft, who your team might be taking tomorrow, what I thought about any of the picks tonight. It wasn't a great day from the fantasy perspective tonight. So come join the free Discord channel. You can find the link on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Reach out to me on Twitter, ask questions. Looking forward to interacting all day tomorrow, and then right up to the NFL draft. Live tweeting all night tomorrow. Then right back here doing another SS football recap show tomorrow night. So let's jump right into this. Obviously, the Raiders make the pick we all expected. Select quarterback Fernando Mendoza with the first pick overall. I have compared him on that Jared Goff to Matt Ryan spectrum. I think he's got average athleticism, but I like the arm talent, accuracy, the ball placement. I love him throwing the back shoulder throw. He has great touch and anticipation, quick release. He works through his progressions, good mental processing. You go back and watch his Cal film. I love that too. And obviously what he did at Indiana this past year. Pick number two. So much flip-flopping back and forth. Are the Jets taking Reese? Are they taking Bailey? Nobody knew. Right before the draft, it sounded like things were skewing towards Arvell Reese, but it ends up being David Bailey. Average size and frame, but big-time athleticism and movement skills. Great first step quickness, explosiveness, and closing bursts. Good bend off the edge. Shows agility and change of direction. Good instincts and pass rush skills and counters. Number three, the Cardinals don't trade the pick. Stunned that they didn't pull the trigger and make a trade. They select running back Jeremiah Love. Obviously, one of the premier running back talents that we've had recently. I put him up there. Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, the athleticism, the speed, the burst, the acceleration, the cutting ability, making people miss. Great pass catcher out of the backfield. Improved his pass protection. He's the complete package, 3-down player. I just thought the Cardinals should have tried to trade back. The Chiefs traded up. Maybe they weren't willing to come all the way up to 3 because it looked like maybe their move was for the cornerback. We'll get to momentarily. So maybe they just didn't have an offer to move back. They took arguably the best player in the entire draft in Jeremiah Love. We'll see. I don't think it's a pristine landing spot, similar to Ashton Genty last year at Vegas, similar to when Saquon came into the league with the Giants. Jeremiah Love could put up 1,500 to 1,800 total yards. Saquon put up a monster rookie season, didn't lead to many wins. Cardinals now have to, next year, figure out the quarterback situation, probably next year's draft, and start building up the line to drop the quarterback in place, have Jeremiah Love, have Michael Wilson, hopefully Marvin Harrison Jr. develops more this year, Trey McBride, attack the O-line next year in free agency, and then try to drop a quarterback there in place with the surrounding environment around him. At pick 4, the Titans. First real stunner, but if you really think about it, it seemed like the tide started to turn away from Sonny Styles. Carnell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, they needed a number 1 wide receiver. They must clearly believe Carnell Tate can be that. I have my questions. I think he's better as a number 2 at the next level. Average to above average athleticism and speed, but he's a good route runner, shows good separation ability, has good footwork, very clean releases, fluidity in his routes and his releases off the line of scrimmage. He's got very good to great hands. He's got length. He's got ball skills. I love the body control, the ability to adjust at the count at the catch point. He's going to be a really good number 2 wide receiver. I'm just not sure I saw number 1. So it's a little high for me. I've been on record for a while saying I didn't think any of these receivers should go top 10. That's why I was trying to every night to talk about the Giants not taking a wide receiver. I just thought they were good players, but not top 10 worthy, not top 5 worthy. While Carnell Tate was a stunner, the Giants followed it up with another stunner. And that's because I don't think anybody thought edge prospect, linebacker prospect, whatever you want to call him, Arvell Reese out of Ohio State was going to be sitting there at 5. He's Dane Brugler's number 1 prospect in the class. He's Lance Zierlein's number 1 prospect in the class. For many people, he was arguably the best prospect in this class. Supposedly on the Giants board, quarterback aside, so maybe they evaluated Mendoza and loved him, but obviously he wasn't even on their draft board. He was the number 1 player on their draft board, and I do believe it. I know sometimes things that come out after the draft, you can't really believe it, but I believe it with Reese because it's not just the Giants. It's a lot of teams. I thought he should have been the Jets pick. Versatile, explosive, hybrid, edge rusher, linebacker, good size and frame, great athleticism, speed, movement skills. He's got agility. He's got change of direction, closing bursts. He's got length. He's got instincts. He's got techniques. He's got pass rush moves. He can cover. There's some people that think his linebacker tape is better than his edge rusher tape. Hayden Winks of Underdog, Bobby Skinner of Giants Nation, and other people like him at linebacker. I thought his best film was edge rusher, but I could see he's going to play inside for the Giants and weak side, but he's going to rush the quarterback a lot. If they don't trade Kayvon Thibodeau on obvious passing downs, they're going to have on the field Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Arvell Reese, and Kayvon Thibodeau again after the quarterback. There's not another pass rush in the league that rivals that. And even if they end up trading Kayvon Thibodeau for a 3rd round or 4th round pick, which I still think should be the right move, Reese, Carter, and Burns should be the best pass rush in the NFL. Pound for pound, he was arguably the best player in this draft class. For me, he was in my top 4. It was Jeremiah Love. It was Caleb Downs. It was Arvell Reese. It was Sonny Styles. And then Mendoza. Those are the 5. But the Giants are too good value to pass it up. And if they like his linebacker film, and then he has the versatility to also rush the passer, they're going to have Carter and Burns come from the outside. And they're going to be sending Reese up the middle or through some of the gaps. It's going to be fun to watch that. Giants hit a home run here. I really didn't even have Reese on my radar. I figured they would trade down for a team wanting to come up and get arguably the best defensive prospect in the class. But the Giants stayed home and took Reese, and after the fact said he was their number 1 player on their board. At pick 6, the Chiefs trade up with the Browns, and they select cornerback Manzer Delane. Average size and frame, but big-time athleticism, speed, movement skills, closing bursts. He's got agility. He's got change of direction. Shows good play recognition, awareness, instincts, and techniques. He's got press cover skills. He steps right in. They made that trade with the Rams. Lost their best corner, and now McDuffie gone. They replace him with Delane. Pick 7. Commanders get their guy. Dan Quinn loved Sonny Styles. Elite size, frame, athleticism, movement skills, closing bursts. He's got range. He's got quickness. He's got play strength. He's got cover ability. He can defend the run. Good tackler. He's going to, schematically, it's one of the best fits of any prospect to team tonight. Sonny Styles playing that Bobby Wagner role for Dan Quinn's defense. Saints at 8. Select wide receiver Jordan Tyson. Didn't get out of the first round. Didn't get out of the top 10. The Tyson buzz over the last couple of days continued to build. I don't know if the Giants were ever in on him as much as that was public, but The Saints, Chiefs were the other two teams. And the Saints, I think he's a good compliment. I think he's got the highest ceiling of any of the wide receivers in this class. But there's some durability concerns. But I think it's a good fit too, schematically. Good size and frame, good athleticism. I love the movement skills. His separation ability, his route running. He's got great body control and ball skills. Shows the ability to adjust, high point, win contested catches. If he can show more physicality at the catch point, Tyson has a chance to be the best wide receiver in this class. I love the pairing of him and Chris Olave. I love the offense. I love the fit there. Pick 9, the Browns moved back. And at 9, got the same guy I think they were going to take at 6, and that's Spencer Frenno. Great size, average frame, very good to great athleticism, movement skills, lateral quickness and range. He's got body control, good hand usage, good pass pro, average run blocker, starting right tackle, best in his own run scheme, get him out in space. Maybe down the line, he could even come inside and kick the guard or even be an elite center if they ever have to move him inside. At pick 10, the Giants select offensive tackle, offensive lineman, Francis Mauigoa. Good size and frame, good movement skills, footwork, short area quickness. He's got good hand usage, power, and play strength. He's good in pass pro. He's good in run blocker. He shows good techniques. He could be an immediate plug-and-play starting right tackle. Giants are going to kick him inside the guard. He's got all-pro, 10-year Pro Bowl type guard upside on the inside. In 2 years, if they need to kick him outside to replace Jermaine Illuminor in a couple of years, I think you can do that as well. They said they ran tons of mock draft simulators, and them getting Mauigoa and Arvell Reese never came up once. For the longest time, most people were mocking Reese 2 and Mauigoa to the Cardinals at 3. Before the Giants were even going to pick at 5. Instead, the Giants get those two guys at 5 and 10. You can make Reese an edge rusher if you want to. You can make Mauigoa a tackle if you wanted to. So the positional value there is there too. Fills needs for the Giants, but they didn't take the traditional off-the-ball linebacker or the traditional safety. The traditional straight-up guard like Vegaone. So that's what makes these picks really high-end upside for the Giants as well. They both have the upside to move out to premium positions, edge rusher, and offensive tackle if need be. Cowboys move up 1 pick. This was my favorite move of any team in the entire draft in terms of manipulating the board, moving around. They trade up 1 pick. They select my number 2 player in the entire draft class. That's safety Caleb Downs. I don't care about him not running and testing. He's got good athleticism and speed. His play speed is top notch. His movement skills are good. He's got short area quickness. He's got closing bursts. He's got versatility. You can play him single high. You can play him in the nickel. You can play him in the box. His instincts, his play recognition are elite. And that makes up for any deficiencies that might be there, if you have any, in terms of size, size or speed. Love the pick for the Cowboys. He gives them an identity. He gives them a leader. Pick 12, the Dolphins select offensive lineman Kaden Proctor. Great size and frame, very good overall athleticism, good movement skills, great power and play strength, great run blocker, good hand usage, average and pass pro. He's got great length, starting right tackle, best in gap run scheme. Some people think he fits best inside at guard. I don't think he has to kick inside the guard. I think he's going to get a chance to be their starting right tackle. The stunner of round 1, the Rams select quarterback Ty Simpson out of Alabama. I thought he was a day 2 guy. Early day 2, but day 2. Average athleticism, mobility, good arm talent in terms of velocity and strength, average accuracy and ball placement, good mechanics, footwork and release, good decision-making, working for progressions and pre-post snap reads. If this wasn't the Rams, if this wasn't Sean McAvey, I think they would be getting killed for this pick. But there are people who really love him. Dan Orlovsky loves him, Simpson. I think they looked at it as, we're not picking 13. We don't pick this high very often. We don't know if Stafford's got 1 year left or 2 years left. Let's get ahead of this now and a guy that we like his traits, learn the system, the ins and outs. Obviously, they must like him and believe in him. And then we keep this train moving even after Matthew Stafford retires, hopefully. And they didn't look at anyone that they thought maybe could be a huge, impactful player in terms of helping them win the Super Bowl this year. They still are a Super Bowl contender, and they believe they set themselves up for even a longer sustained period of success with getting the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford. 14, the Ravens make the most Ravensy pick ever. Offensive guard Vega Yone. Good size, great frame, average athleticism, movement skills, and lateral quickness. But I love great balance and body control. Good hand usage. Great play strength and power. Great run blocker. Immediate plug and play starting offensive guard. I think best in the gap scheme. Pick 15, I don't think the Bucs saw a scenario where Reuben Bain Jr. was going to fall. We know the length concerns. He's been that size his whole career. Good size, good frame, good athleticism, movement skills, and quickness. Good first step and bend off the edge. Very good play strength and physicality. Power rusher with good techniques. Great hand usage. Good run defender. Immediate plug and play. Upgrade starting edge for the Bucs. 16, I struggle with. Jets selecting tight end Kenyon Sadiq. I've already been on record that I think Sadiq's more Dalton Kincaid, Evan Ingram coming out than he is Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland. And I like him, but he's an undersized move tight end. Great athleticism, speed, movement skills, burst and acceleration, yak ability, change of direction in the open field, separation, quickness out of his breaks, good body control, ball skills. I like the player, don't love the player. But what I don't like is Mason Taylor was a really good tight end, showed a lot in a bad situation last year. They took him early in round 2 last year. I would not have drafted over him a year later. This reminds me a lot of when the Raiders drafted Michael Mayer, the top of round 2, and a year later they came back and drafted Brock Bowers. But Brock Bowers, to me, was a far superior prospect than Kenyon Sadiq. And I think Mason Taylor and Michael Mayer, well, they're different style players. As prospects, I think they were pretty similar. So I don't understand drafting over Mason Taylor. But add another weapon. They needed it. They came back later, got another weapon. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Lions at 17. You knew they wanted an offensive tackle. They had been connected a lot to Caden Proctor. They don't move up. They stay there to take out of Clemson Blake Miller. Great size, good frame, good athleticism, movement skills. He's got great length, good recovery ability. Good in pass pro, good run blocker, plug and play, starting right tackle. Vikings. We knew they needed defensive tackle. We knew they were interested. We had heard them maybe connected to Peter Woods. But they'd select Caleb Banks. The ceiling and the upside is first round. Some of the other stuff was going to push him to round 2, what most people thought. But the Vikings make the investment and hope that they can get the ceiling upside out of him at pick 18. Big-time athleticism for a man his size. He's got footwork. He's got movement skills. He's got first-step quickness. He's got great length, good play strength and power. Shows good hand usage, interior disruptive versus the rush, versus the run, and the pass. 19, the Panthers get some help on the O-line. Offensive tackle, Monroe Freeling. Loved hearing Nate Tice and his dad talk about him on a recent podcast over at Yahoo. They loved him. They had him as their number 1 tackle. Very good to great athleticism, movement skills, lateral quickness. Uses his length well. Good in pass pro. I think he's still got some development in terms of his run blocking. I think he's best in his own scheme. Pick 20. Another head scratcher for me. The Eagles trade up. When they trade up, I thought they were going to get in on the tackle run. But they move up and they select Mekhi Lemon out of USC. Now, I like Mekhi Lemon. He was my 4th-rated wide receiver. I like Concepcion more. But A.J. Brown's not going to be a member of the Eagles. Mekhi Lemon and Devonta Smith, I don't know, stylistically, Devonta could play on the outside. I just don't know if that's a good pairing. I think Lemon's best in the slot, but are the Eagles going to run a lot of 3 wide personnel? They love their tight end packages. They're a run-focused team. Kind of let me play on the outside. I just don't know if it's his best trait. So I like the player. Just don't love I don't love the fit, but the player himself, good athleticism and speed, very good movement skills, footwork, separation, quickness, and route running. Great yak, change of direction skills, elusiveness, very good hands, ball skills, and ability to adjust. 21, Steelers. The high upside offensive tackle, Max Ianacher. Great size and frame, very good to great athleticism, movement skills, lateral quickness, good length and play strength, developing techniques to be good in pass pro, starting right tackle, best in his own scheme. 22, Chargers. Select edge rusher, Akeem Mesidor to Miami. Average size, good frame, good athleticism, short area quickness, and upfield bursts. Love the play strength, the power, the balance he plays with. Good instincts and techniques. I love the hand usage, high motor player. 23, Cowboys. Remember, they ready taking Caleb Downs. They moved back from 20 to 23 with that trade with the Eagles, picked up 2 fourth-round picks. They draft Malachi Lawrence. Good size and frame, great athleticism, movement skills, first step quickness, and upfield bursts. Good pass rush skills. I love the hand usage, the length that he offers. John Ledyard, who's been on the show here, he had him as #1 edge prospect in the class. Cowboys came at it similar to the Giants, I think, as the best 2 drafts of the night. Caleb Downs, Malachi Lawrence, immediate upgrades to that defense, picked up 2 additional fourth-round picks. I thought they did a really good job tonight. They moved up to get Caleb Downs, but then they moved back, came out ahead in terms of net capital, got 2 immediate plug-and-play starters on the defensive side. At 24, the Browns select wide receiver Casey Concepcion. Love the player. 3rd wide receiver for me in the class. 3-level player. Can make the case in 3 years he might be the best wide receiver. Right now, he just goes to an awful situation. But between him, Jerry Jeudy, and Cedric Tillman, Isaiah Bond, to me, immediately steps in and becomes the best wide receiver on that team. The athleticism, the speed, the acceleration, the yak ability, change of direction, the route running, separation ability, varies route tempo well, understands route concepts. I love everything about Concepcion. Pick 25, the Bears safety, Dylan Demon. Good size and frame, great athleticism, speed, movement skills, closing bursts and range, great instincts and play recognition, good ball skills and production, good run support, and cover ability. I don't think they thought Demon was going to be there. So I would think that was a pleasant surprise for the Bears to fill a big need. High upside player, really strong pick. Pick 26, the Texans trade up 2 spots and take offensive guard Kalen Rutledge. Love the player. He was one of my guys I talked about in my guys episode. I don't know why they traded up 2 picks. I think they could have got him where they were. But besides that, average size, good frame, good athleticism, movement skills, very good play strength, power, good run blocker. Plug and play starting offensive guard that immediately fortifies the position right in the interior for that team. 27, the Dolphins trade up from the end of the round. Select one of my favorites, one of my guys, cornerback Chris Johnson. Big time athleticism, speed, and movement skills. Love the footwork, the closing burst, the agility, and change of direction. He's got good play strength, good length, instincts, and techniques. He's got cover ability, starting outside cornerback. The 28, Patriots trade up. Select the last offensive tackle, Caleb Lomu. Plug and play starting tackle. I think he's best at left tackle, but he can play right. Great size, good frame, good athleticism, movement skills, footwork, short area quickness, great length, good play strength. Just very solid. Going to be an 8-year, 10-year starter, and just a guy you can rely on. Pick 29. Chiefs select defensive tackle Peter Woods. Good size and frame, good athleticism, movement skills. Down year for him, but last year, this time, people thought he was going to be a top 5 pick. First step quickness, good hand usage, play strength, power, balance. Jets trade up from their early second round pick. It's like wide receiver Omar Cooper. I like the player. Good athleticism and speed, very good movement skills, footwork, releases. Shows good route running, very good body control and ball skills with the ability to adjust. I love the physicality. I kept saying he's Jarvis Landry plus better athleticism. The toughness and the play strength remind me a lot of Jarvis Landry. And I like they don't have a guy like this on the team. So I like Cooper paired with Garrett Wilson. So I would have went Reese over Bailey, but I get it. But Bailey over Reese, Sadiq, there's things about that I can question. And even if I can get on board, I like Bailey a lot. But the Sadiq one is interesting because I just don't think they had a draft over Mason Taylor. I think they could have went a different position. They have a lot of holes on their team still. But I will say this. They have set the foundation up to drop a quarterback from the 2027 draft into a great situation. They got bookend tackles. If Cooper pans out, they have Omar Cooper and Garrett Wilson. They have Breece Hall running back. And then they got two really good tight ends in Kenyon Sadiq and Mason Taylor. Jets on the offensive side of the ball are set up to find a way to one of the top quarterbacks next year. So I like that move for the Jets. 31, I love the trade up for the Titans. They didn't give up much, and they got up there and took Keldrick Falk. Most people thought he was going to go in the middle of round 1. Great size and frame, good athleticism and movement skills. He's got first step quickness, average upfield burst, but he's got great length, good hand usage and play strength. He's still developing. He's only 20. You can kick him inside and rush him from the interior in subs. And then Seattle, you kept hearing they were connected to Jadarian Price. They just stay, make the pick. Good size and frame, good athleticism, speed and burst. Very good movement skills and short area quickness. I love the footwork, the vision, the patience. That's what makes him a really strong running back prospect. The footwork, the vision, the patience. He varies his run tempo well. He's got really good run instincts, good contact balance, and leg drive. So there it is. My thoughts on all 32 picks. If you were following along with the draft projections notebook, we did it again, 29 out of 32. That's 3 years in a row now. We have picked 29 out of 32. The 3 names that we had going in round 1 that did not were Denzel Boston, wide receiver, Zion Young, edge rusher, and cornerback Colton Hood. Instead of those 3 guys, it was Jadarian Price, Rutledge, and Caleb Banks. But 29 out of 32, 90.6% off of the draft projections notebook. 3 years running now. If we turn the attention to day 2, best available players at the quarterback position. We might see Garrett Nussmeier, Carson Beck, Drew Allar, Taylor Green. Those are the guys that are in play. Cole Payton. Running back. I do think we see Mike Washington tomorrow. If anybody else sneaks in, I think it'll be Nicholas Singleton, Emmett Johnson, or Jonah Coleman, or Katron Allen. At the wide receiver position, I think we're going to see like 10 to 12 go. You have Denzel Boston, Zachariah Branch, Jeremy Bernard, Ted Hurst, DeJon Stribling, Chris Bell, Chris Brazel, Antonio Williams, Bryce Lance, Deion Burks, Malachi Fields, Elijah Surratt, Brennan Thompson. I think all of those guys have a shot to go tomorrow. Wild card, maybe Skylar Bell. Tight end position, I think we're going to see 4 or 5 tomorrow. Eli Stower is definitely going. And then Max Clare, Oscar Delp, Sam Roush, Marlon Klein could all go. Outside chance, Justin Jolly. On the O-line, we're going to see 2 guards go early and Chase Besantis and Emmanuel Pregnon. You're going to see Jennings Dunker go somewhere. Caleb Tiernan, the next best offensive tackle. You're going to see some centers, Logan Jones and Sam Heck. Some other interior players in Jalen Farmer. Couple big tackles. One a little bit more developmental, and Travis Burke out of Memphis. Markel Bell out of Miami will go. Connor Liu out of center out of Auburn, could be the third center taken tomorrow. With a couple other guys to keep in mind, Austin Barber, Trey Zune, Bu Stevens, or 3 other guys, or Jake Slaughter, a couple guys that could sneak in. Defensive tackle, you're going to see a bunch tomorrow. Kaden McDonald, Christian Miller should come off the board within the first 15 picks of round 2. Lee Hunter should probably come off somewhere later in round 2. Then you got Dominique Orange, Grayson Halton, Tyler Ordedem, Chris McClellan. Those are the other guys I expect to come off the board tomorrow. But keep an eye also on Caleb Proctor, Zane Durant, Albert Regis. One of those guys could sneak in. Edge rushers, you're going to see a bunch go early tomorrow. Zion Young, Cassius Howell, TJ Parker, R. Mason Thomas, Gabe Jackus. They're all going round 2. Then you got K'Ron Crawford, Derek Moore, Jayshawn Barham. They're all going round 3. Also possibly in round 3, Joshua Josephs out of Tennessee, Danny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State, potentially Romello Height out of Texas Tech. Those are the edge guys that I can see coming off the board tomorrow. The linebackers, you're going to see a bunch tomorrow. Jacob Rodriguez, CJ Allen, Jake Golday, Anthony Hill, Kyle Lewis, Josiah Trotter. I think all those guys go tomorrow. The cornerback position, Colton Hood, Jernard McCoy, Brandon Cece, D'Angelo Pons, Avion Terrell, Keontae Scott. I think they're all gone somewhere in round 2. Then in round 3, you'll see guys like Keith Abney, Dalen Everett, Cario Davis, maybe Malik Muhammad, Chandler Rivers, Julian Neal, Will Lee. Those would be the guys in the mix, maybe, at the back end of round 3. Then at the safety position, you're going to see Emmanuel McNeil Warren go in the top 15 picks of round 2. Treydon Stukes, same thing. Jalen Kilgore, Bud Clark, AJ Halsey, all go off the board tomorrow. Keep an eye on Genesis Smith or Zakee Wheatley or Kamari Ramsey or VJ Payne as potential guys that could also sneak in to the back portion of the top 100. So there it is, guys. Night 1 of the NFL draft in the books. We're going to do this all again tomorrow. Get over to Twitter. Check out my thoughts on every single pick from tonight. Tomorrow, we'll get a whole lot more skill players. I always say day 2 is the fantasy day. I think we have the potential to get 12 wide receivers tomorrow, 5 tight ends, 1 or 2 running backs, and maybe a quarterback or 2. We're going to get 20 offensive skill players tomorrow, potentially. That will be the big bulk of the end of round 1 through round 2 into round 3 of rookie drafts. So it'll be a fun day. We'll be live tweeting the whole night. We'll be on Twitter all day during the day in the new S2S Football Discord channel. Come join. It's free. Ask questions, whatever you want. And then I'll be back here tomorrow night doing another live recap show after night 2 of the 2026 NFL Draft. Go check out the live football guys show that I did with Matt Wallman and Sigmund Bloom earlier tonight. If you want my live thoughts on the first 14 or so picks that I joined them with. So, on behalf of my sound tech engineer, David Nakano, and myself, thank you for joining us. And we look forward next time taking you from Saturday to Sunday.